Hello, guys. Welcome, everybody, to Purple A's podcast. I am your host who bleeds purple and gold, Isaac here. The Vikings, they finished off the regular season 14-3, losing to the Detroit Lions on Sunday Night Football. Final score 31-9. So, the Vikings' number one seed and the NFC North title is over now. Now the Vikings, they will be traveling basically until basically a lower seed in the NFC Championship plays, but really I don't think this box score really does a justice on I feel like though everybody really played well. The 51 men on the roster, they played their tails off today, man. Yeah, last night. I mean, I feel like they wanted that game so bad, but there are only two people who deserve a ton of blame that don't deserve to get paid. So, the offense, I mean, the wide receivers, pretty much a lot of them. The run game was sensational last night. Aaron, 120 yards on the ground, 6.3 yards a carry. I mean, I don't know what more they could. The run game was absolutely amazing. Cam Akers, 6 carries for 65 yards, had a long 58-yard run that just unfortunately, they stalled out that drive. Aaron Jones, 10 carries, 45 yards, and also 5 catches for 30 yards. Aaron Jones, an absolute driving force out there. And the wide receivers, they consistently got open. I mean, their numbers are not big at all, but I tell you what, though, most of the receivers, TJ Hawkinson, Justin Jefferson, Jalen Naylor, Jordan Addison, they consistently last night got open. And so, I mean, I don't even blame the receivers, though, at all for this. And the defense, they put on a masterful game. They forced 2 turnovers, they gave up 50% of their fourth down conversions, and they also punted the ball, and they only gave up. I know the box score may suggest they gave up 31 points. No, they didn't. I mean, in the until the fourth quarter, the first 3 quarters, the Vikings only gave up 17 points. That is really good. 17 points is really good if you considering how much. And also, Jared Goff got sacked twice, and they were able to hit him quite a bit. And so, I mean, they were able to do a lot. Ivan Pace Jr. with his return back, 15 tackles, and he got an interception deep in Lions territory. Blake Cashman was all over the place, 11 tackles. Byron Murphy Jr., he made some huge TFLs in the game. Andrew Van Ginkel almost had a pick 6. It feels like every single time the problem with him, he makes disruptive plays, but he can't close on them. He had 10 tackles. Jonathan Grenard had a sack and had some big hits and some big plays last night. Harrison Smith had an interception. Jonathan Bullard had a sack. The defense as a whole, I mean, they played good until the dam broke. Like, I mean, I don't know what more the defense could have done last night. Or anybody else, any player could have done. I don't know what more they could have done. I mean, they absolutely played really well. And I know I am going to get back. I think Kevin O'Connell, I don't think he called a bad game really at all. And if you want to go ahead and blame him, that is completely fair if you think, okay, maybe going for on 2 fourth downs where you failed on both of them, or maybe the fact that you passed the ball more than you ran the ball. I mean, okay, I completely understand, but here's the deal. I feel like Kevin O'Connell was giving Sam Darnold a bunch of chances. I am going to give Kevin O'Connell a pass, and he had this team ready. He had this team ready. It was a one-score game throughout 3 quarters until the fourth quarter came, and that's when it started to go downhill. Now, there are two people I am going to call out that do not deserve to get paid, or they were soft out there. Starting with the kicker, Will Reichard. I mean, he was the second coming of Blair Walsh last night. He was. And he was 3 for 4 on field goals. I mean, he missed one earlier. He barely made a chip shot 25-yard field goal. He missed one later in the game. And then at the end of the first half with 20 seconds left to go, it's a 7-6 game, and Will Reichard, instead of kicking it into the back of the end zone, and instead of kicking it in the back of the end zone, he kicked it out of bounds, gave the Lions at their own 40, and gave them a 10-yard head start, or gave them an extra 10 yards, and slipped on an invisible banana peel, and he kicked it out of bounds, gifted the Lions an extra 3 points added on. So essentially, you erased 3 points from the Vikings, and you gifted the Lions another 3 points. That is huge. It was still a close game, 9-17, and you missed a field goal later on in the game. How big of a momentum would that have been? And instead you slipped on a bit. I don't want to hear about the fact that he scored all 9 points of this offense. I don't want to hear that. We said this because your job as a kicker is to make field goals and to make sure you kick it in the back of the end zone. Simple. This is Blair Walsh. I don't know why we decided to cut ways with John Parker Romo. I would feel a lot better, but it is really concerning what we are entering with Will Reichard, man. It is very, very concerning. And then we get to Sam Darnold. This dude, he was 18 of 41, 166 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. I don't even care about the fact that the offensive line was bad. We knew the offensive line was bad coming into this game. And then, and I don't care that Justin Jefferson or TJ Hawkinson dropped passes. I do not care about that. The fact that this dude was not, he was just as bad as Christian Ponder, or he's no better than him, last night against the Detroit Lions, bro. I mean, there were so many times, dude, where there were wide open receivers, just wide open receivers in the end zone, and he was sailing it over their heads. He was just overthrowing them. So many wide open touchdowns that he should have had. And think of how big of a momentum that is. Think about that. How much momentum you shifted into settling for field goals instead of touchdowns, and how big that would have been. That would have been huge. You would have been up, and you would give your defense a much better chance. And also he also was lucky to get away with he was lucky to get away with 2 interceptions. He was lucky to have 0 last night, where they were just in traffic. Both of them were easy interceptions that the Lions dropped. And mind you, this was the Lions defense was one of the worst pass defenses, and you only scored 9 points thanks to your quarterback. And the receivers were doing their job. I mean, it's just and the run game was doing the job. The quarterback crapped the bed last night, man. And I don't care about, we made 14-3, Sam Darnold. Okay, I get that. That's all well and good that we revived his career. But this was a big game. this was a big game where you had the number 1 seed. You had the NFC North title on the line. And Sam Darnold he did not want any part of that game at all. He looked like a sad puppy out there. And he looked exactly like he was in New York with the Jets and with the Carolina Panthers, where he was seeing ghosts out there. And that's just unacceptable, man. That is unacceptable how you looked out there. And because this isn't even debate. JJ McCarthy is the quarterback next year with the potential upside over Sam Darnold. And if this is how you're gonna show up, if everybody else shows up really good the exact same way, and Sam Darnold is the quarterback who looks exactly like he did last night, then we need to part ways with him, man. Like, this is no reason why he should be this bad. And if we're one and done, Sam Darnold needs to go somewhere else. Plain and simple, that's it. Sam Darnold and Will Reichard were the major reasons or the major factors of why they had an opportunity to make it close. At the very least, win the game. And as a result, you lost by 22 thanks to those two. And then that's when the floodgates opened. So, yeah, I mean, but the positive thing is, it's not over. The season ain't over yet. I mean, they're still entering the playoffs still, but maybe for Sam Darnold, maybe this is what he needed. Maybe this is what they needed to get this out of their system, and for Sam Darnold, like, what are you going to do after this loss when you crap the bed in one of the biggest regular season games ever? Like, what are you going to do in the playoffs to get redemption, and to erase all the narratives of what the media has been saying? What are you going to do about that? That's totally up to him, man. I mean, Sam Darnold was a joke last night. I mean, not as a human being or anything, but as a professional quarterback, this is inexcusable. He looked more like a $3 million backup quarterback, a journeyman quarterback that he was. He looked nothing like an MVP out there. So, season's not over yet. We still got the playoffs against the Rams on Monday Night Football. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you guys hit the like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Skol Vikings.